Moving up and down again, there's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shepherd's Pie. I'm David.
And I'm Tommy.
We're coming back for a part 2 to the World Economic Forum episode that we had posted a couple weeks ago. We're behind because they just had a Davos meeting a few weeks ago, and we didn't even know that that was coming up when we did our first World Economic Forum episode.
Yep.
So we shot that one probably 2 or 3 weeks before this most recent Davos meeting. And then if you've watched that episode by now, you'll see that like we were just going through their history. We wanted to go through this book that they had written, and we really only got like 5 or 6 years into the history. We didn't get very far. Yeah. And I'd been putting it off because I need to do more research. We want to do a thorough covering of who these people are, the sort of things they do, all the the associations affiliated with them. Like, we want to cover all these things thoroughly. So we kind of are putting it on the back burner. We want to do our due diligence. We were trying to get to other things in the meantime. And then the meeting happened, the Davos meeting. And we're like, fuck, we really need to cover this situation. We got to talk about this while the iron's still hot. And in that, this part 2 isn't really going to be what we intended it to be.
Yeah. It's going to lead into a part 3, really. Is what it's gonna end up doing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like talk about a bunch of bullshit now here today, and then go back again and cover more history. So I'm sorry it's coming out like that. It is what it is. It'll still should be a good series.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Hopefully it'll be comprehensive.
What I'm really kind of hoping is that the series will get people to, because this is actually very interesting stuff. This latest Davos meeting was huge. Yeah. And I mean, there's so much interesting stuff. It's like people will watch the news and yeah, you're getting like almost like a WWE style or like a Tosh.0, as my dad would say, style of like entertainment, where they just little clips, negative news, it gets the dopamine, it hijacks your brain, you know, it's the news.
And the like, news decides what the highlights are. Like, why do you get to say what the highlights are? What if I think something else was more important?
Exactly. But like, but when you actually like watch these meetings, because it's like we said in the last WEF episode, this is public. Like, this isn't like it's with a select group of people, but they videotape all of this and then export it to the public. This makes its rounds through the media.
Not all of it.
Not all of it. There's definitely going to be behind closed door stuff.
There's 100%. A lot of behind closed door stuff. That's the big allure to this thing, and we talked about that in the first episode, that these elites find that this is such an intriguing, alluring practice, like a group or a meeting to come to. They all love it so much because it is an informal discussion. So behind closed doors, nobody's judging you. You're able to have these talks with other elites, and nobody's going to say anything about it. This Davos meeting that we get that's publicized, that's what they're putting out to the world after they've already heard everybody's talks, after they've had all these round tables.
100%. And it's like, whatever we're seeing, you know, is just the stuff that they're letting us know. Like, this is what's coming. This is what we're talking about. This is where money is going to be getting dumped. This is where the change is going to start happening.
It is the disclosure.
Yes, this is the disclosure. This is the main vein tapped right in. Like, they're letting you know. They're letting you know. And a lot of people, I mean, would rather watch Fox News or what is it, MS Now, Miss Now, freaking after the renaming, MSNBC. But yeah, so most people they're just tapped into that, and that's where they get their news. When I mean, I hope that this series will kind of get people to like watch some of the Davos stuff, you know.
Well,
Seriously.
people think it's like a slog fest because some of it is. Some of it's arduous and painful to sit through and listen to. But honestly, if you know who some of these people are, like these are the celebrities of the world. They ought to be. Everybody should know their names because these people have more money than your favorite celebrities. They have more power than anybody else in the world, and they're the ones controlling your lives behind fucking closed doors. So why are they not the most famous? Why don't you know their names? Because if you pay attention to this, like it's a sitcom, like it's the TV, like it's your favorite program, guess what? It plays out like reality TV. It's the most
really
crazy,
does.
most interesting, so many twists and turns. So like,
Except it's about reality.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not just reality TV, like, oh, it's stuff that doesn't matter. No, this is the stuff that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like
It's
if
real.
you listen to this Davos stuff, you might know where you can start throwing some money into stocks. And I mean, if you sit on that, you're gonna get rich. And it's like Nvidia, dude. You think that is going anywhere right now?
Right.
Absolutely not. Nvidia is only going to get bigger. That for the next like 20 years is going to be skyrocketing,
Yep.
like to the moon, folks. Grab you some Nvidia stock, along with other semiconductors and frickin'. Even some of these like infrastructure. So if you think of infrastructure,
Yeah.
what do you got with infrastructure? You got like materials,
Yeah, the
certain
raw
materials. Yeah, oil. Invest in oil. Invest in certain metals, rare metals, and like the companies. Some of these companies that the U.S. uses, or some of these other countries.
Wow.
I mean, this is going to be gigantic.
I'm opposed to all that.
Huge.
Tommy's got a fair point. Like, yeah, you can invest in these things and make your money, but these are the companies that are running us into the ground. These are the businesses and the industries that are ruining the world.
Yeah.
They partake in slave labor. They're mining lithium and cobalt with slaves, with children. Like, do you want to invest your money in that? Because
Do your research for sure then.
Yeah.
And anything that you want to invest in. But there is definitely
like, there's got to be
opportunity.
companies that are worth putting your money into.
Yes.
But like, to me, is it worth making all that money at the price of your soul? You know, like I don't want to invest in the people that are doing that sort of thing.
You know what's crazy though is that most people in just their work, the 401k that they have racking up,
Yeah.
or Social Security,
It's all going to
who's
that.
at the head? Who's at the head of your Social Security or your 401k? Because
BlackRock.
if you're not, it's BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street.
Yep.
And who are they investing in besides the military industrial complex and the people who are out there mining lithium? That's exactly what's happening without people even really knowing. I mean, if you want to take your own future, like retirement money or assets,
Yeah, you could take more control over your 401ks and decide where that's going.
Yep.
But if you just,
Yep.
what most people do is they say, let's play it hard and fast in the beginning and then safe at the end. Like your investments generally have this trajectory where you're more risky in the beginning and safer later on in life. And then, you know, they do whatever they want with it based on those terms. But to Tommy's point earlier, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock,
Yep.
State Street. Larry Fink, CEO, chairman, co-founder of BlackRock. He is currently the interim chair for World Economic Forum. He's running the shit right now. So literally the most powerful man on the planet just got even more power. It's crazy to think about that, like, you know, this guy, people are worried about, oh, Trump or, oh, Elon or, like, dude, fucking Larry Fink.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, we had
he's-
drawn Klaus Schwab up here last time, but he'd been gone for a minute. Like, he got in some trouble.
Yeah.
He had to step down. Really, it's been Fink since then. And, you know, a lot of power comes through hands of these companies and through this forum. Like, this forum is just a place where people come to talk, but they're talking about the future of the world and how to improve their countries. So they look at other countries and see what they're doing and try to implement those things, or they allow themselves to be basically a testing ground or a test subject for the plans of these other countries within the World Economic Forum, because somebody said, hey, we got numbers that say this might work, so how about you guys try it? And they're like, all right, we'll fucking try it, as long as you give us a little, care package that goes along with it. Sure, why not? Like, I don't know, a lot of crazy shit going on behind closed doors. And then what we get through this symposium that we're allowed to see is, like, it's posed in a way of, like, hypotheticals and questioning the future. But if you can, like, watch and listen and understand and really discern what's going on, you can see that it's not all hypothetical and what ifs. They're talking about the future and what's going to happen and how they're going to make it happen.
100%. 100%. It's where these you get the leaders of nations. They're some of the most key invitees to this event, because they're the ones that are they're the ones with the power with the people, and with industry and with the politics and legislation, the whole nine.
They're not
But
regular
then you also
attendance. The
Yeah.
political powers that show up, like Tommy said, they're invitees. They come
Yeah.
from time to time. Like, you never saw Biden go to Davos. No, but here's Trump now, because Trump's in a different position. So they invite him to make a scene. Like, Biden wouldn't have made a good scene, but Trump makes a real good scene.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like the best scene. The best scene. And then they also invite, though, a lot of different CEOs of different industries, different sectors, like really pertinent for right now in the times, modernly, and also economically. We've got, like, AI heads and CEOs going to these things, and also chip manufacturers. We had Jensen. I went hard on Jensen. How do you say his name? Huang.
Jensen Huang.
Huang. Jensen Huang. He, very smart dude. His story definitely is. At least what he pushes is his up and coming story to being who he is now is definitely wild, and it's amazing the dude's even still around. But yeah, so you get AI, and he talks about the AI development, and he's talking about industry and where it's moving and, like, what this means for the world, and he kind of breaks it down in a fantastic way that just blew my mind with the whole thing. But he's only one of a whole host, and I wish that I could have watched the whole thing. How long does it go on for again?
It's a week.
It goes on for,
I think it's a week or 2 weeks. And what they have happen is, this whole time they break it up into little groups. So you get you get industry leaders, political leaders, and they all commingle at different groups at different times at different fucking, I don't know how to break it down, but basically everybody has a chance to talk with one another on a very small scale. And then there's also, like, these speeches that we get to see where you have one person talking to everybody. And then, whoever wants to attend those can attend those. But the whole time, they're all interconnected with each other, too. So while they're at these little groups, they're texting their own private little group texts, and everybody's chatting that way. And then they can watch and see what's going on everywhere else. Meanwhile, they're all being fed data, because everybody is bringing data to the table. They're like, this is what because it's a group effort. Nobody's holding anything back. And it's not even like they're paying for it or being asked anything or asking for anything for it, because that's what's expected when you're part of this group. It's part of the Davos, the spirit of Davos.
Davos way.
In the spirit of Davos, we're all trying to do the same thing. So everybody provides all their information. That all goes into the AI. I found out the AI that BlackRock uses, which I'm assuming is probably the same AI that the World Economic Forum is using. It's called Aladdin. And so it's able to take all of this algorithmic information from all these different countries, all these different businesses, all these different powers, and plug it all together into what we're going to call the world sentient simulation. Even if it's not sentient, it's still a simulation of the world. They're taking all of this information, all the most important information of the world, putting it all together, and they're saying this is what we're able to project for the future. And so that's what they're talking about in all these little groups, is their issues over the last couple of years, their successes over the last couple of years, who else has had successes and how they've done it, and how you could implement more of that. Also, I have a theory that in the back rooms, they're also talking about how to get away with their human sex trafficking, because, you know, you got to keep that going. All these elites are sick fucks, and it's all coming out. So how do we make sure that we're safe and protected when it comes to our dirty little secrets? How do we keep it all going?
I think I'm more of the mind that the people that are showing up for this, you're getting like heads of state, and you're getting these CEOs and these heads of industry. They already are plugged into the intelligence agencies that are kind of taking care of that dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like they're, I don't know if they're talking about that there. I think that's like kind of baked in with these guys at this point now.
I feel like that's got to be part of the allure of the informality. Like, it's so informal, you can even talk about your dirtiest secrets and how to get away with it.
Maybe. No, there is something to be said about that. Behind the closed doors aspect, I mean, dude, what could you even imagine these guys would be talking about behind closed doors?
Well, you know what I couldn't believe didn't come up once in any of the hours and hours of talks I was watching from the Davos Symposium is not one person mentioned the Epstein files.
Ooh.
That's like literally a worldwide contention right now. Like, people are still talking about it. It's still very pressing for the political climate of the world. Because if we were to find out whose names were on there, it's not just our country, it's not just the US. Like, for sure, it would imply people in France, it would imply people in Israel.
Internationally.
It would, all over the world. So, not imply, implicate. So, like, they didn't bring it up once.
Yeah, that's, honestly, if we just kind of zoom out a little bit from that, I mean, it's like, what does that tell us? That tells us that really this isn't about us as like a people, or like what we want, or what the demand of like the majority is. It's not about that. This symposium and these directions that it's being pushed, pulled, moved, centered into, it's not about what people want. It's about a shared vision and goal and place that these people, that these elite, that these sick fucks want to take us to.
Right.
And the roadmap for that. And then it's also, how do we get the people on board with it? How do we sell this to the public so that they will back us, so that they will move into positions that we need them moved into, so that this happens? And that's really what it's all about, and
so
the like theater of the whole like public side of what they show us. I mean, there is definitely a lot to learn from it, and you do get a little bit of insight, but it is still at the end of the day like a catered, curtailed type of message that they're pushing out for us, so it's got that whole thing going on with it, where they're trying to get you to do something, trying to get you to feel some type of way. So we package the information this way, give it to you, and it's supposed to have a desired effect. It's like a little prescription pill.
Yep. So I have a good like anecdotal story for that. I've heard about this company trying to sell a coffee flavored candy over in Japan, and their marketing manager is like, that's not going to work. It's not going to sell. They don't even drink coffee in Japan. Nobody's going to buy a coffee flavored candy. They don't give a fuck about coffee. So what are we going to do to make coffee relevant in Japan? Well, we got to make a little cartoon. If we make this little cartoon where this character's drinking coffee all the time, and that plays for maybe 5 years, reruns for a couple years, that generation of kids that watch that cartoon are going to grow up to want coffee. So in 10 years, we can sell coffee and coffee-flavored candies in Japan. And it takes them 10 years to do that. You know, they have this plan where, 5-10 years down the road, after implementing all these things, then we can sell our product in another country. Yep. Well, what do you think they're doing in the World Economic Forum but talking about how to do these things? Because guess what? You don't want your market to be stuck to one area. You want your market to be the entire world, because that's how you make the most money.
Yep. And they're patient, like these guys, I mean, they're patient and they're not patient at the same time. Like, they'll move on things. They want things to happen now. But when they can't happen now, they plan out for them. Yeah. Like, the opportunity is always there. Yeah. It's just that, is it able to happen now, or is it something that I got to invest in? They'll think of it as an investment.
The thing is, when you got companies that have been going for 50, 100, 200 years... it's not just, it's generational. But even if it's not generational, these old fuckers have been at it for 50 years. And if you make a solid plan at the beginning and keep it going for decades and decades, make sure it's implemented, like, you can get anything done in 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Especially when you have this kind of power and influence.
Yeah, and the money, I mean, what you end up doing is you end up building structures. You end up you put incentives in different areas. So if you got a plan, and your plan is, it could be anything from farming. Say you want to feed a whole group of people, a bunch of people are poor and starving, and you're some altruistic billionaire. Then you're going to try to get farmland established. Oh, but this area doesn't have, growable fields. So you're going to put all of your money and attention into terraforming that space, and that's going to make industries pop up, and it's going to create an entire channel for things to move into. And even if you die and your son doesn't want to take up the running for it, these things are still going to be around, and it's going to cause other people with motivation and incentive, and they see the opportunity to move into that space, fill the need, and it'll still continue. Yeah. And that's what these guys do, is they carve channels. They set intentions, they set motivations, and they paint pictures. They paint these pictures of the future and what it can mean for people who want power, money, or these different industries, if they want to be leaders of AI or whatever. It doesn't even matter. And then they sit back and they let all these people at Davos talk, and after painting a picture that's so vivid and so awesome, all these people are going to start just making the circulatory system and the tissue and the bones. They're going to make the structure for this thing to happen. It's just going to end up happening.
Yeah, when they talk about, like, problems of the future, they don't talk about how to prevent or, like, solve the problem. They just talk about what to do when it happens, because they know it's going to happen. It's in their favor that it happens. You saw exactly that with COVID. For years before COVID came, they talked about a pandemic. They talked about a worldwide disaster. And even if it wasn't in the form of, like, a disease or a virus, they spoke about a worldwide disaster and how they would react. And then exactly that happened, and they reacted exactly like they said they would.
By the book, because there was a book.
There was a book.
There was actually a book, and there was a memo that was sent out across the world to all of the leaders, So that's like WEF right there, what that's for. Yeah. It's for connecting these people and getting these memos out to the members on what to do when this thing happens. Like, we're going to prepare for it. It's going to have all this industry, a lot of money. That's how they sell it. They're like, there's this much money moving into the space.
Yeah, don't
and you
fear.
Can either be there to capitalize or get left behind type deal.
Yeah, don't fear that these things are going to happen, because this is how you can succeed through it. And it all goes back to that first instance that we talked about in the first episode, where they had an oil crisis. And the oil crisis actually was a very good thing for the World Economic Forum, because as everybody in the world is panicking what to do during this economic crisis, this oil crisis, they all come to the World Economic Forum for answers. And the World Economic Forum's like, this is how we get everybody to do exactly what we say. So every time there's a problem, they get more influence. But we've been rambling for a minute about what ifs and this and that, fucking blah hoopla. Let's fucking talk specifics. What sort of pictures are they painting? What sort of problems are they alluding to? What were the discussions that were had at Davos this year?
Yeah, I've got a little breakdown about some of the people that attended. It's not everybody, but I've got over 60 heads of state. So we had 60 heads of state. That's really not as much as I would have thought initially, but who are the 60 heads of state? You know, that's, I think the quality of the heads of state is kind of the real question here with what that really means. We had Trump.
Yeah, you can imagine
Trump
some
was
big
there.
players.
Yeah, we had Trump. We had the Canadian Prime
Xi Jinping
Minister.
Go?
I do not believe so. I don't know if China's really involved so much with it. Like
they've been involved very minutely since the 80s.
Yeah. They take a measured approach, and I think it's
they send representatives.
Yeah, they want to be. They don't want to not be at the table, but they don't want to.
So Vice Premier He Lifeng. So not Xi Jinping, but Vice Premier.
Yeah, one of his subordinates. Yeah. Huh. That's wild. I mean, I could definitely see that being, like, pertinent. They got to. They have to have someone there. They have to.
So
his end up having
He Lifeng's participation underscored China's commitment to multilateralism, free trade, and win-win cooperation. He called for global unity against rising protectionism and emphasized China's role as a stabilizing force in an uncertain world economy. So yeah, this is what we were talking about before the episode even started.
Yes. That is insane, because what you just described goes in hand with the Canadian Prime Minister's talks. They are in tandem. They rhyme. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that more here. That's a huge thing. That kind of blew my mind when I heard it. It's if you want, you can actually listen to it on YouTube too. His actual talk, and it's wild.
I recommend that everybody that's listening to this episode go listen to people talk at Davos. Like, it's crazy the sort of things that they talk about. I want to play a quick clip just because I feel like it fits in here. We got what's his name? Eric Daughtry. Is that who this is?
Daughtry.
Oh, Scott Bessett talks some mad shit about Gavin Newsom, and it's fucking hilarious. Let's get a little. Yeah,
this is the pettiness that happens too. So I mean, reality TV. Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah,
it's
funny. People are talking shit. Like the whole time. Oh, let me fix this real quick. The whole time Trump was talking, like if you like Trump, it's fucking hilarious. Dude's just off there wanking it on stage.
Yeah,
and we're just supposed to watch him.
Self-fellatio.
For real. All right, let's watch this.
Very, very. Ironic that Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros, and Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America, and the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless. Shame on him. He is too smug, too self-absorbed, and too economically illiterate to know anything.
Dude.
Too economically illiterate to know anything. And,
fantastic.
You know, that dude's obviously a fucking Trump shill. You know, he's a Trumper. Yeah. So he's going to have things like that to say, but that is funny, and that is very true.
It is so funny.
Gavin Newsom.
I mean, I don't know anybody who truly likes Gavin Newsom. We don't live in California. Maybe there's some people in California that like the guy. In my opinion, it'd probably be like menopausal.
You got to be real left to like Newsom.
Yeah, menopausal white women might love Gavin Newsom.
Just because he's fucking young and slightly attractive.
Yeah, slightly
attractive. But dude,
he's
creepy. He sits there and dances when he's talking about people coming to buy all the property that's burnt down from all the people that lost their homes in California due to wildfires. Yeah, he knows that's money for him. He's like, oh, we got investors coming in. We got plenty of talks going on about money. Fucking, he's so excited. Dude, you burnt everybody's houses down, and now you're making money off of it, and you're going to dance on TV like we don't notice?
Yeah, that's wild. That's absolutely wild.
No, he's disgusting.
I don't know anybody who likes Gavin Newsom, so it's great to see him get so thoroughly defecated on. But again, what you said, that guy is definitely in the Trump cabinet, you know?
Yeah.
So it's I don't trust the Trump move. I really don't. I mean, we were only presented with two options, and I mean, Trump definitely seemed like the better option.
No. So before Trump, it really did seem like we were on a path to be subservient to China. Just it was exemplified. Sorry, I should have said exemplified when Xi Jinping came to California, and they were able to clear all the homeless out. They were able to clean up the streets. They must have washed up all the shit. They flew Chinese flags all up and down the streets and ushered him in like royalty. And that is not how you handle an outside world leader. You don't bend over and kowtail to them and kiss their foot. No, you
make the land theirs while they're there. That's what that was. That was like a conceding the land while he was there to him into China.
And clean the place up for him, make it respectable so we don't look like pieces of shit in front of outside world leaders. But fly the American flag. What are you doing?
Yeah.
This is fucking America. But now, so with the forming of the BRICS nations, this is a big part of the talks at Davos, is that you have the United States as a world power. You have NATO as a world power. You have China as a world power. Russia is kind of the reason that the World Economic Forum ever was created. It was because post-World War II, post-Cold War, post-Soviet Russia, they wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have those sorts of problems in Europe. So they formed the World Economic Forum. You know, they already had NATO going on, but it was another way for all these countries to unionize, to come together and make similar decisions for a common good. And on the surface, it looks great. But now after years and years and years of them having this much power and influence, they're able to do more than
a lot more
anybody really ever thought they would.
Yep.
So with the BRICS nations, you've got countries now wanting to go, and more are each year going and signing up and becoming part of the BRICS nations. Yep. Because fuck America, they're not helping. fuck Europe. They're failing hard. So China really does seem like the best shot, especially when
they're the rising tide.
You know, you got China allied with Russia. Like, that is the best other shot. So the Canadian Prime Minister, what was his name?
The Canadian Prime Minister's name is Mark Carney.
So he was just elected last year, I believe, or 2 years ago.
Yeah, Trudeau ended up leaving office, and this guy took his place.
Yeah. And Trudeau was kind of another one of those, like, I don't want to say shill for the World Economic Forum directly, but like when you see the sort of things
on the Young Global Leaders.
Yeah. So like really was a shill for the World Economic Forum directly. They have these like principles and ideals and goals that you see like trickle down, and so that allows you to see who is working for them. It's things like stakeholder capitalism, forcing diversity. There's risk analysis through technology instead of like
ESG.
What the people want. You're going based on the numbers.
Environmental social governance.
Yes, ESG. So Trudeau was a big part of that. His people fucking hated him for it, and he had to step down. So now this new prime minister is talking about, oh, well, you know, basically America's threatening to come and fight us and take our land. You know, they want us to sell ourselves out to them, and they don't want to do it. They're a neutral country. They don't have a powerful military. They've relied on us to protect them all these years. And now we're like, hey, you're better off being states of America. And they're like, no, who else do we go to but fucking China? So now our closest neighbor, we're like actually pushing into the hands of our greatest enemy, our greatest rival, at least.
Yeah.
And it's not okay, man. And
yeah, it's like a very polarizing time right now for this political climate. It's turning into what's the term, like armament. It's like another arms race, but like not necessarily arms race. It's more like it's picking sides.
Yeah.
It's catalyzing sides. They're dividing. There's a natural separation happening right now, and it really surrounds economics majorly. A lot of economic shifts happening. There's too much power with a couple of nations that have very forward agendas, very aggressive agendas, and they have so much economic power globally that they have influence over these littler nations, like Canada. Canada is the way that the Prime Minister in Davos during his talk described it is they are a middle country.
Right.
So they're not the top of the food chain like the United States, China, Russia, Great Britain. They're not on those scales. They're right underneath. And they're not of the lower countries,
right.
Air quotes, people, because all countries are equal, whatever. But so what he's talking about is that there's like a hegemony. There's a hegemony like in control of this economic environment, in this economic power that is penetrating all of the world. It's a global thing. It's an international economy now through the WEF, World Economic Forum. I mean, that's one of the biggest staples, is integrating the world economically through these different policies, through these meetings, and getting people to network up and get to know each other and move industries and create industries and
well, a big part of it is
industries.
America pulling out of this world agenda. Like with Trump issuing all these tariffs on everybody, people are like, and Trump put it in a different way. Trump is basically like, you know, you'd all be nothing without us, and we're the ones paying you all the money when really you guys should be paying us all the money. So to get back on our feet, we're doing all of these things. We're implementing tariffs. We're charging people more. We're bringing business back here, putting America first. And like, you know, again, if you like Trump, it sounds good. It does sound good. But in the world climate, everybody else is like, well, fuck. This is going to change everything for us. We can't function without America, or at least not in this capacity. So what are we going to do? And so they do have to make a choice where it's like, do you band together and make a union of middle countries? Do you try to rely on Europe and NATO and like these countries that are failing? Or do you go to China, who really is a great contender against America? You know, America wants to act, or the U.S. wants to act like we're the top dog and nobody could do it without us, when, you know, these littler countries do have other options.
Yeah, like and it's also a reflection of them witnessing our foreign policy and how we've handled all of our movements over the past, like, I don't even know how long now. They watch what happens with Iraq, and they watch what happens with all these other countries.
Libya, Venezuela.
Yes.
Anybody starts to get a leg up for themselves, we come in and say, no, we're going to actually topple your government and have regime change.
Yep, regime change is imminent at that point. So they see this happening, and they're that's a terrifying thing. So it's like, either play ball or we're going to come in and take you out type deal.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that this America First thing is kind of had echoes internationally, where it's kind of reminded other countries that they're their own countries.
Yeah.
Like during the era of when globalism was really kicking off, it was more about shedding your identity to join up with this bigger thing.
Yeah.
This global thing.
Everybody's
now,
like, we're struggling on our own, and we could all be doing a lot better if we helped each other out, which makes sense. It's like, they make all the food really well. We make all the materials really well. Let's give them material for food.
Yes.
Why
and
not do that?
That created a booming global economy. It did. Yeah. It created this thing.
But then you have countries that are specified. Everybody's specified to where it's like, oh, fuck, we only make the food. And so now when our people are sick and America doesn't want to give us the medicine, because they've always given us the medicine, now we're fucked. Because all our people are sick and dying, and America's got this stronghold on us because they don't actually need our food.
Yes. So basically, we ended up cornering this global market, the United States. The United States empire ends up cornering the market
against
globally.
Ourselves, like a scared wolf in a corner.
In the end, it's hurting us pretty good right now. But I don't know. We'll see how it shapes up. There's something that tells me there's still aces in the sleeve when it comes to stuff like this. But the way that it's at least being publicly theaterized is very much so like a arming up for sides in a global conflict. But I mean, in that beginning stage where globalism was happening, all these countries are shedding their identities and joining up with this thing, and it's very profitable for a while. But what it does is it makes them weak. It makes them weak individually. And then the United States is at the helm of this thing. I mean, we have the reserve currency. Everybody trades oil internationally through our dollars.
Right.
So it keeps us strong, and it keeps us in economic, like, superpowerhood, you know? So then after this whole America First thing starts kicking off with Trump, these echoes start hitting the other countries. This news and this way of operating is hitting these other countries, and they're seeing it, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, if this is happening, you know, we're weak if we don't have our own, like, sovereignty or our own power, and us middle countries, we're never going to be able to rival these bigger countries. You know, we don't have the population, we don't have the military, we don't have the resources, but what we do have is where we show cooperation with. And our honor is what the Prime Minister there of Canada said. He's talking about altruistic things. And then he said, and then in the same breath, he's talking about moving that connection and cooperation to other countries. Multilateral cooperation. Same thing that China was talking about with their spokesperson there. So this movement is making this ionization to these other sides of this theoretical war that it seems like is just kind of being manifested in front of our eyes, really. Very concerning to say the least, but there's something in me that just that thinks that it won't get to some crazy point like an all-out war. I feel like things are just a little too past that, like with technology and the globalism has already happened. So there's safeguards everywhere. We want to apply pressure and cripple a country. We don't even need to send the military in.
Right.
We don't need to. We can just pressure them. Apply pressure here, political scandal there,
And
topple a government.
That was another talk, or another point that was brought up during these talks, is that like we've not seen like trade war or trade used as a weapon of war in recent history. Like that's not a way that we've been operating lately. And that's something that they're talking about is going to be happening in the future. Like that's what the future economy looks like, is countries are going to start withholding trade as a weapon. So who do we trade with the most, man? China. What if China's just like, fuck you, actually? Like, we don't need your money anymore. We got enough countries. Everybody else is buying from us. We're actually set. We're not going to do business with America anymore. How much stuff do we get exclusively from China? I
think that it would make these middle countries that China does deal with, it would make them hyper rich because we would get those goods still. We would just do it through other countries. It would be like a. But no, what if every country, they would have leverage?
All these other little countries, like everybody dealing with China, you're part of the BRICS nations, part of the agreements. You're not dealing with America. Like I've said, boycotting is the strongest power. So what if they found a way to completely boycott us out of that shit? Like, it might be good for us in that we would create our own solutions. Like, that was the one thing Trump brought up, is why are we relying on other countries like this? Why would I say, oh, all of my medicine's made in China? What are we going to do when China won't give us medicine? Like, no, you got to make your own medicine. You got to make your own oil. You got to make your own food. You got to make your own everything so that nobody has any power over you. And if you are going to give that power over to somebody else, you better make sure they're your best friend. Because, like, you could have somebody with
sufficient dirt on them.
Yeah, and that's how the world operates, actually. That's why the Epstein files aren't coming out, is because that's the dirt.
There is sufficient dirt that the CIA intelligence agency, we have got so much shit on everybody. It's nuts.
I think I just stole this guy's line, so I'm going to play this video real quick.
Okay.
Well, I think you should start at a much higher level. Okay. We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders. You're entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as
that he calls it the WEF
pole in the middle.
Yeah.
But in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar. You should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agree to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery? They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries.
That is a solid fucking point.
Yep.
Like and that net zero is a World Economic Forum policy. Like, that's something that's pushed by these people because that's one of their big concerns is the climate crisis, running out of oil, and what are we going to do for energy once we run out of oil? So their solution has always been green energy, zero emissions, and they've been working towards that since day one, and they're not setting it up properly. They're like, we're just gonna, like he said, we're gonna get everything from China. And it's like, well, what happens when China turns against the world? Like, you got to make sure everybody's able to take care of themselves in some sort of way, shape, or form.
See, there's something in me that, China does have power in regards to certain things. Like, yes, they have a lot of manufacturing power. They have a decent amount of manpower. They do have like a lot of diplomatic outreach right now, and they have picked that up over the past couple decades. Because normally they were very isolationist. China traditionally has been a very isolatory nation. They've basically kept to themselves within their own borders, other than direct conflicts with neighboring countries. They've taken a lot of leave from the world stage, especially when globalism was first kicking off, and that's why China's in the situation it's in right now, and it's not doing what the United States has been doing over the past few decades.
And why it seems so appealing to the younger generation. Honestly, the left, the younger generation, these people are enamored with the idea of China. They're like, it's working over there. You see videos of what it looks like. You see the propaganda. They don't understand what it's like to live under a communist regime, how this social credit score system is ruining people, the sort of power the government has over its people. They don't realize what it's like to be communist. They just see the success. And China is successful right now. China is doing well. There's this idea that I've seen going around. I always say that. There's this idea. There seems to be actual proof that the numbers China is putting out for its population don't math. They don't add up. And they think China is lying about its population.
They are definitely lying about their population. I do not believe that it's being lied to, like they have more people than they have. It's definitely lower than the numbers.
Yeah, it's that they have more people than they have because they implemented a policy where you could only have 1.5 children. The 0.5 is because they would consider a female half of a person. You were allowed to have 3 female children or 1 boy and 1 girl. If you had more than that, they would take your children, and who knows what they were doing with them. But that was a rule for a long time in China until they realized that it was drastically affecting their population. And the idea was that they were overpopulated, but then they were scared because they were going to be underpopulated. So what's going on, China?
I do not believe, from everything that I've gathered for I don't know, I haven't gone super extensively into the whole like China's population thing, but all the key indicators that I've seen, like they have phantom cities. They have cities that nobody lives in, that are literally made of like paper mache. They're just there for like satellite images so that anybody coming over top taking a picture of China, they're like, oh, look at this. They built a city in like 5 years. Mm-hmm. Like they've got to be insane. And it's like, no, that's like they literally just put up a city so that when that same satellite flew over, they looked like they were better off than they were.
Well, it's also like it's a money laundering thing.
And it's a money laundering thing.
Because you're expected to own property. In China, the only way to be a fucking functioning member of society instead of a slave to society is to own some property. So there's these markets, these gimmicks in China where you are investing in this communal project where you are in the end building a whole fucking city, but it's like you just own that flat, and really you can't ever go live there because that city doesn't function. There's no infrastructure, there's no water, there's no power, there's no, like, the roads don't even connect to anything. The buildings are unsafe, but you own that building in that city, and now you're a functioning member of society. And it's a huge, like, government fucking scheme because all that money ends up going up to the top. But
so because China is a communist government. I mean, they've kind of moved away from it, but they still are. Like, it's almost like more fascist than anything, really. With the way
people
that
try to deny it, but AI will tell you straight up.
It is legitimately,
there's no hiding it.
There's no difference between, like, their corporate structure and their government. They are the same. They work together. They are completely in bed. Like, the laws get made for the corporate structure, and then it trickles down to people, and, like, that's just how it works.
And it comes here. Like, I used to work for a Chinese restaurant as a delivery guy, and I got to talking with the owners quite a bit, and all their they would only get deliveries from Chinese companies. The Chinese companies would give them special pricing. I was talking about needing appliances once, and because, like, my dad is trying to start, like, some food business. He's trying to get some shit going, and I had made mention that I need some restaurant equipment, and he's like, oh, we can get you some restaurant equipment, but, like, it's going to be really cheap, but if things don't work, we can't necessarily be held accountable for the fact that it doesn't. Like, it was really sketchy the way he was either it's a Chinese gang here in America, or it's, like, literally the Chinese Communist Party here in America.
Yes.
They were talking about, oh, if we need another delivery driver when you leave, we'll just go get somebody from New York City. And I'm like, what? Go get somebody? Turns out the two chefs that work there, neither of them speak English. One of them is the owner's sister that, they're trying to get their whole family over. Most of them are here, I believe, but they're still trying to get more family over. And then the two chefs live in a house owned by the owners of the restaurant.
Yep.
And it's like they work 7 days a week, fucking 11 hours a day, never have a day off. Or no, they do. It was 6 days a week. They were closed on Tuesdays. But man, that's fucking slave labor. How much money are they making?
Insane.
Like, they're not even able to go out and spend it.
Yeah, it's insane.
They didn't have licenses. They can't drive. They can't get around.
There was I'm trying to remember what the name of this scandal was. There was this scandal that kicked off around the last time that the Bitcoin bull run was. And I remember it because it was kicking off right around, because I was getting into crypto around that time. So we're talking like 4 or 5 years ago now. And there was a company, like a real estate company in China, and it's huge, like one of the global markets, like huge on the global market, gigantic worth. And I'm really upset that I can't remember the name. It's not.
Keep going. I'm trying to pull it up.
They had a scandal where a bunch of their money, they just didn't have receipts for it. And it was causing a shitload of people to pull out of it. And we saw a ripple in the global market from that extended out into crypto. And it started hitting crypto, and it hit the stock market. And it was like, that was kind of like when people started to realize that, like, you could literally sabotage, you could do warfare just like that. You could create a company, get a bunch of trust in it, get a bunch of foreign investment, and then pull the rug on it, and it will send ripples across the entire financial sphere. And you can cause markets to crash. You can cause them to fluctuate rapidly. You could do that in a timed fashion and make money on that. And I think that's could be what it was. But
are you talking about the Bitcoin Queen Kian?
No.
Nope.
This was a Chinese like real estate company. It was a Chinese real estate company that had a bunch of unsubstantiated earnings. It was like a... Man, I'm really mad at myself for not remembering the name of the company. It was a big company, really big company. And I think it went into them...
one of the biggest companies. Everybody said it was a nice company.
It was a beautiful company. Everybody said it was a beautiful company. I think it's a beautiful company. Very powerful, very rich. Yeah. But that, to me, those are the signs that China is not fully at the level that they like to advertise that they're at. And it goes back to like their policy too. They have a policy, and especially like a foreign policy that they've had for a long time, where it's like the name of it, something tiger. It's something tiger. I'm really coming up blank here with a lot of these names, but pretty much it was like paper tiger type shit, where they puff themselves up, make themselves seem like they're really strong, really capable, and they will dump cash into this type of stuff. But it's just it's like a facade. They do this thing where they posture, and they posture aggressively, but behind it there really isn't much. They don't really have the full capability that they advertise. And I think that they are catching up. I really do, because they're learning from America and from a lot of America's... Dude, they steal so much intellectual property from our freaking corporations. We allow it. And that's what's been crazy, is that before...
Well, they have different laws over there, and we can't really enforce them.
Yeah. And so, like, they've been kind of adapting over the past couple decades at a pace that is... I mean, they're on track to be something. It's just, in my opinion, and this is I guess, an opinion, but America has had the reins, and, like, when I say dominance and, like, superiority, like, full spectrum, they've had that for a long time. And that has allowed us so much freedom in where we put our money, especially for our military, which our budget for our military is so insane.
It's insane.
It's so...
And that's the thing, is
so
you can
insane.
You can see those military parades, like the one we have in our intro from China. China does military parades all the time because they want to try to flaunt that they're this powerful. They need to do that. There's a reason they need to do that. They need to whip it out and show it, because most of that, it's not real. Like those...
Otherwise, they can't come to the table.
Yeah.
They can't operate with us at a equal
Our
footing
shit's real.
unless they do shit like that.
Our shit's real, and it's
So
secret.
real.
We keep it so secret and so hush-hush that nobody even knows how far ahead and how advanced our military is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. So
there's all those rumors from the Venezuela thing that just happened about sonic weapons, that 20 guys come storming in and take over a whole entire fortress with hundreds of people. Like, they come in 20 guys deep, but with drones flying around and flashes of sonic freaking weaponry that nobody knows about. And it just takes over, and they're able to rob a freaking president from his native country within 24 hours. Within 24 hours.
So
terrifying.
We have this ability at any point in time with just about anybody. Like, who's going to stop us? Who the fuck's going to stop us?
And that's really what I want to try to hammer home, is like...
But no, more than that. It's
theater.
Like we're not the best in every regard. You know, we're gonna have haters listen to this like we're America dick suckers. And no, like, America has been failing. America has been on a downward trajectory. It's upsetting everybody. Nobody's happy on either side. Like, you could like we try to be in the middle, man. We're not really one way or the other. We might sound super right, but that's just because the fucking goalpost has been moved so far either way.
Goalposts have been moved.
Like, we really do try to be as center as possible. And the thing with that is that the world has been doing the same thing. It's not just us. Everybody's going super far left and right. And China has always been right where they are because they're communists. They have the power over their people like that, where they don't allow for anything else. So they don't sway in their ways. Same with Russia. Like, Russia's got a hard stance in what they believe and how they operate. They don't really change. We're just willy-nilly. We're in the wind. America, we do succeed in, like, maybe not at the very top, but in the top 5, in the top 10, in every regard. You know, whereas like other people do contend, they do hit those top spots, they do beat us in some regards, but then they'll fail in others. They don't compete in every category. We compete in every category. And that's why we're winning globally, is because, and that's why we can win on our own, is because we compete in every category. And that's what Trump was saying. That's what this guy was saying at Davos, is that other countries do need to do that. That's why the world, this World Economic Forum thing, this new world order thing that they were trying to set up, it's failing. So, and really what that means is that people are going to start picking sides. You're going to see new allies going on, like that World War III is going to start getting set up. Like, it might not kick off right away, but it is going to set up, and you're going to see who's on what side. And like, honestly, the way it's been going, it makes me want to be on China and Russia's side. Like, I've never liked China, but I have started to like Russia a lot more lately. I'm seeing all this Christian, like, they're really like Orthodox Catholic, like Tommy was saying in a different episode. Like, they're kind of super heavy, strict. But man, don't I appreciate just a Christian country. I really do appreciate it. And like, Putin has been saying and doing things, and like, yeah, it might be propaganda to get us turned against our own government, but Putin has been saying a lot of stuff that is like for the American people, like for our sakes. He's like, hey guys, I know you got a fucked up government over there. Like, I got this stuff that I could tell you that would make your lives a lot better. I'm not going to tell you, but you know, I know a lot of things about your country, and you should probably know these things. Like, but he don't speak English, so nobody listens to him. Yeah.
It's a tough environment to kind of to wade through. It is. These waters are so
Could you imagine Canada being our enemy, though? Like, if we were at war with Canada, we share so much border with Canada. What if we were at war with Russia and China through Canada?
I think so fast we would have that situation just...
We would just have Canada. We would just have it.
Very quickly,
there would be no
Canada
Russia
would be
and China. Yeah, there'd be no Russia and China and Canada.
And I don't want to see that. I want Canada to just be Canada. I want Canada to be Canada. I don't want them to be crazy communists.
That's part of this Greenland thing. Like, we got Alaska. We need Greenland so that we have this triangle around Canada in case Canada decides to do anything fucky.
Do what we just like encircle Canada.
Eventually just suck them up like an amoeba. So there very much is a plan for all of the Americas to be America. I've seen maps. I don't know. I've never looked into this, but it's like half of South America has a really strong influence from Israel, except for Brazil, because Brazil is part of the BRICS nations.
Yep.
But like, everybody else is siding with Israel, and it's like, we seem to be like this with Israel, hand in hand, lockstep. So it's like, those Israel countries are like American countries, you know. When we decide we're taking Canada and we decide we're taking Mexico and want to just move down into South America, it's just going to be America. Like, North and South of America are just going to be America. Like, you can almost expect to see this within the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, I am kind of wondering, because it does really feel like there's another expansion happening. It does feel like that with these talks about taking Greenland. And people want to freak out about it,
but borders
Canada.
Change all the time. Borders just changed over in Europe to settle this war in Ukraine and Russia. They decided all that territory that Russia took, they are keeping. And Russia took a lot of territory. I'm going to actually put in post, I'm going to put a picture here of all the land that Russia gets to keep now, because that's the only way they're going to stop this war. If Russia wins, and Russia won, dude. And
the propaganda machine spun it up like that wasn't going to happen.
Look at Israel and Palestine. Look at all the borders that just changed there. Like, borders change all the time. I'm sorry to upset you. People want to say, oh, this is stolen territory. Well, guess what? It's our fucking territory now. And this idea that we're supposed to just let these immigrants in, that's totally different, because we came in like a war and took over this country. Immigration's different. It's not a fucking war. It's more of like a psyop. So you got to not be stupid and let your country get taken over by immigrants, because you got to keep you can allow immigrants, just don't let it get overrun.
Don't let them take over your country in France, dude. Look at France now.
Yeah, don't become a minority to immigrants, because then you lose your traditions and your values that make your country strong. Yeah. So they just start bringing and flooding with their traditions and their shit, and there's a reason their countries don't work. There's a reason they're coming here.
Yeah.
It's either to take over or because their shit's failing, and we don't want either of that here. So you got to let them come in slow and come in right, so that they can absorb the American values, because that's what's working.
Yep.
I'm not opposed to immigration. We just got to do it right.
100%. 100%. I agree fully with that.
But people got to get over the borders thing.
Yeah, the things that are going on with ICE right now, though, they're definitely. I understand why people are very. They want to take a stance against it, because
it's
it is
terrible,
like a government overreach type of situation.
Yeah.
But the problem is, this is the really, really shitty part, is that we had an administration before this one that flooded us with this problem.
Yeah.
And if we didn't do that initial thing,
so I want to talk about that.
This wouldn't be a singular issue at all today. But we bypassed that. What caused this to happen?
Can we explain it? We got to explain it for people, because it plays out like a story, and nobody sees the story. They're sucked into the psyop. So you get in the Biden years and Obama years, really, you get, actually Obama did talk about closing up the borders.
Yeah, he was firm on his border.
So actually, go back and look at Obama. Obama was firm on borders. So Biden, though, just opened up the borders. So you get this flood of migration, and then you get also a flood of sympathizers. Like, that becomes the public zeitgeist, is we need to allow all this immigration and fuck all those right Nazis that say otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, that was the talks that were stirred up. So then when the borders got closed back up and everybody starts getting deported, the Nazis succeeded. But also, rewind back to when it was happening, you also have I just lost it because I had to rewind back. Son of a bitch.
The story, bro. I mean, we had
story.
Obama.
No. So in the Biden years, you have the defunding of the police. You have the police are the enemy too. Those guys are fucking aggressive. You got to defund the police. So the people that wanted to protect America lost their jobs, lost their money, got paid less, got treated like shit. And then Trump years, it's like, all right, well, we need more people in ICE. We're going to hire as much as we can in ICE because we don't have enough ICE agents. So now, not only do you get all those people that were just shunned out of their original jobs, but then you get all these crazy fuckers that just want to fight immigrants.
Yep.
That's not a good mix. So now your whole battalion of ICE agents, your fucking little private army, they're full of crazies and people that have been jaded by society, and they're just like, fuck you.
And they're shooting people.
Yeah, we're going to be violent and we're going to be wrong. And guess what? ICE is going around and they're wrong. They're not doing the right shit, and sometimes they are. There's plenty of like good ICE operations. Like, there are fucking predators out there. There are people that are hurting women and children and stealing and killing and raping, and they're getting caught. And I'm sorry if you don't want to believe that, but that is happening. But also, they're fucking killing people in the streets unjustly. They're killing American citizens. Like, that's not okay. And that needs to be reprimanded. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be shut down. It needs to be rectified. And it's not. It's just getting brushed over. It's getting turned into a psyop. It's getting turned into a tool to push one thing, or one group of people against another group of people. And it's not okay. Because everybody agrees that you can't just kill people. You can't just fucking kill people. You can't kill American citizens on American soil, especially with your little private army. But we really shouldn't be killing immigrants either. Like, let's just do this the right fucking way. Everybody can agree to that. But we're being pushed against each other.
We had just such a massive flood during the Biden years of immigrants. It was so concerning too. I hope everybody just remembers, because our memories are so fast now, and they're set to such a low time frame. We've got like a very narrow window of memory now as a society. But during the Biden years, they were flying entire Airbuses.
It's like they were working to get them in here.
Doing that like 24 hours a day, every single day of every single week. They were shipping them to a bunch of different states, a bunch of different cities. And that is like, dude, these people were not verified. They were not vetted. They were just coming across the border. And if we remember correctly, if we did like a statistic on the immigrants that were coming in and were getting shuttled, a vast, like, we're talking 80+% of the immigrants were military-aged men.
Yeah.
Military-aged men.
But also, when there were children, the children were going missing. The children were not being accounted for. They were not being looked after. And
this whole thing.
But now, I want to say that now that people are getting picked up by ICE, the children are not being looked after. The children are going missing. And guess what? They're grabbing a bunch of military-aged men as well as women and children. So, like, if it was predominantly military-aged men coming across in the beginning and all the women and children were going missing, now all the women and children are going missing, and we got these military-aged men still hanging out here.
Yeah. It's like the same people are kind of behind it all.
And it's fucked because you do get innocent bystanders. You get people that just wanted to come to America and our government let them in, and now our government's like, fuck you, get out. And that's not okay. Like, that's not okay for anybody. That's super wrong. Like, you're ruining people's lives. But also, we have a huge problem now where there's criminals here, and we do need to do something about it. Like, and you really need to understand how immigration affects a country before you start arguing that we got to just let everybody in, that this is stolen land and anybody should be able to come here for refuge. Because that sort of mass immigration, that outnumbering of your own population, it changes everything. We have everything. We have laws here. We have beliefs here. We have morals. Not that they don't. We have our own. We have distinct morals and beliefs and laws. And when they come, they bring their morals and beliefs and their laws and their traditions, and it wipes out our traditions. It wipes out our laws. Like, do you understand what Sharia law is? Like, great, let's have some some Muslims here. Like, I don't mind Islam, but guess what? If they impose Sharia law, then women are going to be beaten and killed for stepping out of line. Like, that's part of their law. That's their belief. That's their moral. And you can say that that's okay for them to believe and for them to practice, but keep it in their country. I don't want it here. It's not okay. We're going to start sectioning out states and cities where that's okay.
That's what's going to end up happening. Little strongholds of a different country in our country over time. This is what'll end up happening.
And fine,
they bring their values and their stuff.
I'll say
they'll have a city.
Let it happen, because I can stay away from it. I can keep to my area where my thing is what I want it to be, and you can have your thing over there. But guess what? Sometimes that involves we're going back to it, the abuse and harming of children, because some people have different morals and different beliefs where that's okay. You can wed a 9-year-old boy. You could have sex with a 3-year-old girl. You could do these things, and it's okay in your culture because it's written down in your book that, that's fine. What are we gonna do when there's cities and states that puts into their law that's okay? We're just gonna allow it because everybody gets to be who they want to be. We're gonna allow it because this is stolen land. Like, no.
That paired along with the fact that that is an I don't want to step on too many toes with this, but it is an inherently more aggressive type of culture, where they're kind of called more in an aggressive tone to deal with people that aren't in their camp.
Yeah.
So if we allow for cities and strongholds of a people of an aggressive type of culture, if we allow that, and we are like, okay, fine, we agree, you can have your own little area, we'll have our own area, and that'll be it. Except it won't stay that way. Eventually, they're going to get more numbers, and they're going to come taking land. They're going to come doing the thing. Like, you can't allow it. You just can't. If you're a nation, and it like, put yourself in like a nation's like shoes, you're going to want to not like kill yourself.
Again,
you're not gonna want to kill yourself.
Look at France. Look at Germany.
They literally
look at England.
Themselves. Yep,
it's happening here. Yep. Look at Michigan.
Now there are grander theories about this. It's called the replacement theory. The replacement theory has a lot of merit. This is supposed to be a Davos thing, but if you want to look into replacement theory, it's a thing. You can look into it. There's resources for it. That's definitely something that is an agenda, and it's a polarizing thing. And this polarization is highly valuable and usable by authority to keep its population divided enough to where we don't get together and cause any kinks in their plans and goals.
Well, I would think that like a one world order agenda, the World Economic Forum agenda, wouldn't want a superpower like America to be so powerful. So there probably would be an idea of proliferating.
Proliferating.
Sure. the less I don't want to be rude, less desirable groups of people into the United States to weaken it.
Yeah. No, that's a huge plan. That's a massive plan. It's a plan globally. It's a deep stabilization tool.
Right.
It's been used before. This is not a new thing. This isn't a new thing that just happened. This is literally what happened to cause World War II.
Yes.
It's the same game plan, people.
Yes.
It's the same shit. It's just a different day. And the day's coming. They've got it planned out. You gotta wisen up. You gotta open your eyes a little, and not to the TV and not to these narratives. I mean, you gotta soul search or something. If you can't find these threads and tug on them and get a little dose of some truth with some stuff, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to help you, but this is literally World War III shaping up.
Yeah,
this happened back with Germany. This happened back with all this stuff. This destabilization of nations, of nations with immigration. It hurts, and it causes radicalization, and then it causes divides, and then it causes wars.
Yeah.
Physical battles. People get so pissed off about shit, they go crazy, and they start killing each other.
So there's big talks of AI at Davos. A lot of what they were talking about was AI. So this coming war might not be so physical or confrontational. It might be more AI. It might be more technical. You might see entire infrastructures break down because, oops, we lost everybody's information. Or now the lights don't work. Now the power's shut off. Now the internet's down. Like, what are we going to... Yeah, we're talking digital warfare. So maybe be prepared for that, too, in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, that
100%.
that sort of thing is coming. Like, we're going to see trade war. We're going to see AI war. Because that's what they're talking about in the World Economic Forum.
Yep. Yeah, the AI talks in the World Economic Forum was going off. They went so hard into a lot of things. A lot. The NVIDIA CEO there, Jensen.
Yeah.
He was really laying the groundwork here for this, for what is going to take place. So much money. The amount of money that's about to get dumped into infrastructure, and not just here in the United States. This is not just a United States thing. This is a global initiative.
Global.
The AI
because everybody needs to start building power. The whole world knows that the more power you're able to generate, the more you're going to be able to compete. Electricity, not just oil, like electricity. That the more you're going to be able to compete in the world market, because AI is going to be the most lucrative thing going forward. And what does AI need but massive amounts of power? So the more power you can make, the more AI you can run and generate information and start doing algorithms and shit people can't do, start making money.
Cornering markets, freaking all sorts of things, because that's where it's leading right now. Is the more developed nations, so we'll just use the United States in this instance, we have the power thing, so we have the energy, and then you go up to the infrastructure, so then you need actual like chips, you need actual this is the exact cake that Jensen was talking about. Watch his video, by the way, everybody. Watch his breakdown on YouTube from his talk in Davos. Very, 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 very interesting and important stuff. Very interesting and important. So he talks about this cake. The base layer is exactly what you said. Base layer, energy. You need the energy. Then it moves up to chips, and it moves up to actual like computing parts. Semiconductors, you need chips, you need memory, you need all of the fascia for this thing. You need the...
As right now, China's leading in manufacturing the chips.
Yes.
China makes more.
The United States...
We're working on it hard.
We're going to be there very soon. Very soon. And locally, if you catch my drift, bro. Locally, we're going to be there very, very soon. So once we get those two sectors taken care of, it moves up to like the programming and like the language in these data centers. The data centers programming language. And then sitting above that is now you've created a platform. We've had all these other platforms, like we had the internet as a platform, and that has launched different industries. It's made huge economic growth, and it's allowed more capabilities as human beings to do things in the world. So we had the internet, and then we had like the cloud. The cloud was like a platform. And now we're moving on to AI and these language models. They are going to be another platform, and that's where we're at now. That was what this huge rush was for. We've got these chat bots now that everybody's using,
right?
That are kind of like a layer of that. But now the next frontier is the application of these models and creating real world products or what's the word? Applications for this technology where it actually is working in the world. You're going to have robotics. You're going to have a lot of this like medical industry. The medical industry is going to have a huge revamp from this, and it's
people need to understand that AI currently is a lot more powerful than you probably understand. Like it can do more than generate videos and pictures and the text on your phone when you ask ChatGPT stuff. World Economic Forum, or BlackRock has their own AI called Aladdin, where they run the world's finances through it to project future markets. You have NASA has their own AIs where they study all the stars and all the trajectories of everything in space and look at everything all the time to compute it all. Like, everybody's got their own special AI doing their own special thing. We're only privy to what's out in the public. There are private sectors with private AIs that nobody knows about that are probably a lot further ahead than we could ever even conceive.
There's going to be an exotic market for data, exotic data. There's going to be, so we only have whatever instruments we have right now to get data from right now. So we have cameras, certain cameras with certain megapixels, whatever. We have certain microphones for audio data because that gets, turned into raw data that AI can use to make voices. Or to interpret voices. You got all sorts of like different tools that they use to look at atoms, subatomic particles, look at physics, look at so
the big jobs of the future, the main job of the future, like what all of us are going to be doing, because they're going to replace everybody with robots. They're going to replace everybody with AI, and it's going to take minimum 15 years. You're going to start seeing every Joe Schmo replaced with a robot in 10 years. Like drive-thrus, front counters, it's going to be cheaper and easier to have a robot doing a minimum wage job than to have a person. So you're going to start seeing that within the next 5 to 10 years. I would put money on it. Within 15 years, 20 years, we're all going to be replaced. So the main job is going to be to generate and collect information, because they need more data. So how are you going to get data but by doing something like this? We're generating data by creating a show, by creating content, by talking, and we're also collecting data by having people interact with us. And that, that's got everybody's, that categorizes your interest. If you watched for this long and you listened to these parts, or if you skip that, we've got now your email and your profile and everything, that connects to you. Like, we're information curators. Like, and that's going to be that's going to be in the gym.
That is what it ends up being.
And like, you do it in your own way, maybe you draw, or maybe you play music or make music, maybe you do video games, maybe you pull Pokemon cards, whatever. But everybody's going to be like some sort of content creator or some sort of information allocator.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah. That's gonna be a huge thing too societally.
There's not gonna be anything else to do.
There's gonna be different. So yes, that is a different way to feed information to the AI to use. But that's gonna be relatively low value. That's not gonna have a high value. So you're probably not gonna get as many social credits, through doing those things. The social credits that are going to be massive are going to be coming from new ways of gathering the data. So like some new telescope that can see spectrums of light that nobody's even been able to see before, and AI is going to be like, all right, fortune, you get a fortune for that. Give me that data.
Yeah, that's the only way to be a millionaire in that sort of world.
The picture of the universe better, because that's what the AI is doing. Is it's gathering all this information for what? It's doing it so that it can.
I'm talking about Joe Schmoes.
Joe Schmoes, we're kind of screwed.
It's going to be that Black Mirror where you get a little room where you have to watch commercials and you have to watch TV in your room that's all screens, and then you go and you ride a fucking power generator all day. And while you're generating power, you're also watching a screen, so you're just curating information for the thing. You're logging human data while you're creating power for the thing. Like once AI is the power, 30 years, 40 years, max 50 years, AI is going to run the world like that. And it's going to be like a Black Mirror episode. Like, All we're here to do is make power and create and generate and collect more information for the thing, because that's what it runs on. That's what it feeds.
I think that you might be more right with the like. I don't want to go too far in the future because this stuff is so close. But I mean, at scale, for it to be what you're talking about,
I think about it a lot, like how long it's going to take for these things to happen.
Yeah.
Like we already have people buying robots and putting them in their houses to do regular day tasks. Like you're seeing it with celebrities. It's probably like internet personalities. It's probably happening more than what you're seeing because these robots are cheap. It's fucking 30 grand, 10 grand, like 10 grand for a shitty one, 30 grand for a really good one. And dude, you have a fucking robot. That's so cool. All right, so now we have the base layer. In 5 years, they're going to be really fucking good, and they might even be a little bit cheaper. I make at my job $40,000, and that's just an estimate. Fucking, that's 1 year of my salary. You could have a really good robot plus an extra 10 grand for maintenance, and that thing's going to be able to do my job better than me. All you got to do is fucking tint paint and remember what the customer said. Like it already could do a better job at that. Like the customer relations part, it could already do a better job than me. It just perfectly remember every conversation and log it into the database. And that's half of my fucking job. And the other half is just taking an order and mixing paint. And already a machine that doesn't even think can do that. So, dude, my job is taken over within 5 years. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Because already...
Well, I mean, my job will be taken over by drones. Like, I can't believe it already hasn't been. Right. I really can't. I think the reason the bottleneck is the infrastructure.
Yeah, so it might take a bit longer. It might take 10 years.
And that's what I'm saying, is that I think that it might be more than
They're
that.
working on the infrastructure. That's the thing. They're talking about it. That's what the talks are, is they need to build that infrastructure because AI needs to be born.
100%. That's where they're going. That's going to be, that's their power play. Their power play for the global elite and for the movers and shakers and the governors of the world. That's their power play.
Yeah.
That's where they get full power, full control, no human error, no uprising.
Back to the world order.
Yes, it will be the world order. But in Davos, what they were saying is that they only have like $200 billion right now globally that has been invested into the infrastructure. This is so new. Like, when I say trillions, I mean like, bro, we're looking at like 100 trillion plus that they're projecting for like what we're gonna need to get the world that they're looking for.
Right.
And that if we only have 200 billion so far, and we're seeing what we're seeing now, which yes, there is stuff happening. There is. I mean, we're seeing data centers pop up in like Texas, and we're seeing chip plants in New York. We're seeing freaking all sorts of stuff start popping up. But what's gonna end up happening, dude? This is gonna be like gigantic.
Yeah. It's just, it's going to go exponentially because that's
where they're going to need us. Yeah. They're going to need us to build this shit first.
Yeah.
And then they're going to phase us out.
Yeah, labor jobs are going to last the longest.
Labor jobs, dude, if you are blue collar, you are going to be a rock star for the next like 3 decades.
Yeah.
Next 3 decades, you are an absolute unit. You will have everything you've ever wanted.
For sure.
You're going to bust your ass.
Yeah.
But you are going to be a rock star.
Yeah. I think customer service, like just talking to people, those kinds of jobs are going to be replaced really quickly.
Gone. So fast.
Any sort of like, not like so much physical labor, but just menial tasks like I do, just tinting paint. Like that's going to be replaced.
My job's already,
You're going to see like robot
95%
bartenders.
95% automated.
Imagine robot bartender.
Yeah. Like screw that.
Robot.
They're going to have
every McDonald's.
You're going to have like speakeasies crop up You're gonna have like just people being like, no, we want to have like the authentic back in the day.
Yeah, you're gonna have like Humie businesses. We need to go where the Humies are. No fucking.
But the thing is,
greasy,
that
oily gear bag.
They're gonna be using the digital currency at that point. So the currency is only going to be usable on certain allocated places, So all these speakeasies,
gold is
going to
make
come
a
up
comeback.
With a new currency.
Gold is making a comeback. They're talking about that at the World Economic Forum too. A lot of countries are investing very highly in gold. We are lacking in that department. We are a little bit investing in gold, but we're not doing enough. You see this huge trend of countries throwing tons of money into gold. So I think gold is going to make a comeback because people are going to want to have something that exists outside of this digital currency. Also, I don't know what the BRICS nations are planning on using, but probably some sort of, I was going to say probably some sort of digital currency. But they want to get away from the American dollar, so
they're going with the digital yuan or whatever they call it.
And like it seems like we're trying to make a really strong push to that CBDC as well, the central bank digital currency.
Yeah. It's happening.
It's just a replacement for the dollar into a new Rothschild system.
I would really. It's such a. You know what sucks is this feels. It feels almost hopeless. Truly, it does.
Well, that's why we talk about it, because we just need people to be prepared for it. Like it is just going to happen. That's why Davos is put on. It's because they want you to know what's going to happen. Yeah. So we kind of we're able to discern a little bit from it what we think is going to happen.
I think we need to resist at all costs, truly.
That's why, in the beginning, I said you don't invest in these things. There is a huge opportunity of money to be made by investing in these things, but let's resist. Let's boycott the fuck out of it. What if everybody pulled all their money out? Dude, that shit would collapse.
There's meaningful ways to resist that are effective and very they're practical too, and there's other ways of resisting that are also effective. Any form of resistance to this, whether it be just speaking out against it, whether it be a boycotting stance, whether it be all of the above, whether it be teaching your kids, trying to pass on to your kids more core values that are inherently pro-human and anti-authoritarian dictatorships run by technology. Yeah. Any bit of resistance against this upcoming absolute technocratic apocalypse are going to be welcome. Really.
Well, like what was talked about at the forum, don't be reliant on the world. Apply what was said to yourself. Not yourself as a country, yourself as a person. Where are you going to get your food? Where are you going to get your medicine? Where are you going to get your power? Don't rely on the government for it. Don't rely on anybody else for it but yourself. And if you're going to rely on your neighbor, make sure you're really good friends with your neighbor. Make yourself a community, make yourself self-sufficient, and don't rely on anybody for anything. And then you don't have to worry about all this shit that's coming.
I think we need to get back to being in love with being human again.
Yeah.
I feel like for longer than AI's been around. So I don't even think we can blame AI at this point. I think it's since the advent maybe of the internet. Yeah, I would say maybe the advent of the internet. It's just been a transition into transhumanism.
Yeah.
Where people are phasing.
How long do you think before we start to see that?
What, like cyborgs and transhumanism?
Yeah, people
it's
start
happening as we speak right now. I think like rapidly. I probably right now what we have going on with AI in the medical field, like I sent you the voice clips earlier from the speech, but they're talking about how like they're getting the AI language models to different chemical scientists, different pharmaceutical companies, different bioengineering places, and they're reading the
the proteins.
They're reading
the mental
chemical makeup. They're learning the languages.
how the synapses in your brain fire.
Yes.
And they're saying it's all a language. Your DNA is a language. Each protein is a language. Every carbon is a language. The way your brain fires is a language.
Yep.
So as the computer, the AI, learns to understand these languages, then you have more and more ability to do more and more within a human being, within a person, to a person.
In the world. Because what are we except like, if you think about it, what are we? We're like measurement tools. We're like data gathering nodes.
Right.
That if AI can tap into us, then it gets that direct experience of reality that it gets to harvest the data from and create products for, or solutions, or just understanding, or compile an archive. So, I mean, that's really the huge goal, is to get it within us and operating within us, to where it hive minds back to the hive mind of AI and that intelligence.
So you're saying love being human so much that when AI taps into us, it loves being human?
No,
or it loves humanity?
I'm saying love being human so that you don't want this shit to happen.
Right.
Because I think that a lot of people are almost apathetic about it. They think that being a human being sucks.
Yeah,
They
we've been
think that
propagandized
life is
into hating
suffering.
humanity. The thing is,
think that
humans
everyone
are
sucks.
terrible. Humans are terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody does suck. We're all sinners. Sad to tell you, but everybody is guilty of some sort of sin, one shape, or another. So the only way to take that and continue to not hate humanity is to understand that God has redeemed us. We are still loved in the eyes of the Lord.
Yep.
So we are worthy of redemption. Humanity is great. We are divine creation. God loves us. So you can love us. You can stop hating humanity and actually have some sympathy, because you can say what Jesus said on the cross: they know not what they do. Nobody knows. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, it's built into our minds. It's built into like how our conscious and subconscious works, where we like to hyperfixate on like the negatives, because we need to, in order to, kind of know what to do to survive. It's like a survival mechanism. And so we like to hyper focus on the sin, the fact that sin exists, and we want to try and root it out of our lives, which, bravo, you should. But you're not supposed to be obsessed with sin. You're supposed to be living your life, dog. You're supposed to be living.
Be obsessed with what is the Most High.
You're
Orient
supposed
yourself
to be giving glory to God. You're supposed to live in the kingdom.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be obsessed with sin. Like, if you're a sinful creature, which we all are, try to get your sin under control. You should be working on that. As a human being, you should be working on that. But you should not whip yourself into an absolute bloody pulp, or others, and deprive the glory of existence that we have been given. It's a gift. It's not. We weren't put here to whip ourselves senselessly. We were put here to experience the love of God, the beauty of creation. It's just being so hijacked through this loop, this fucking doom scrolling loop, this bad news cycle loop, this crazy shit. It's hijacking us to just hyper focus on the negative, and it's getting us to hate being human, because what's being human other than all this negative shit? And it's like, start hyper focusing on the good shit, because there's some fucking awesome shit with being a human. I mean, dude,
being on this
all the
planet.
best shit I know, all the best shit I know has come from being human. You know what I mean? Like, it's been great.
And that goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. Like, check into reality. Check out of the fucking TV. Check out of the media. Check out of the bullshit. Check out of these politics. All this nonsense we were talking about. Like, check into reality. I know we were saying that this is real, you know, but it is a big psyop too. Like, it is just a big show.
It's what they're planning. Like, you can get a little bit of foresight into these evil fuckers and what they're planning. But I think that honestly, what this could call for, we got to kind of know ourselves. We got to know ourselves enough. If you're watching something and it's really eliciting that type of like fear, negativity, a lot of that suffering, you know, you can kind of analyze that a little bit, figure out where it applies, but cast away what doesn't. Right. Cast away what doesn't. If it's not something that's serving you or helping you or gives glory to God, get rid of it. And just if you want to tune into the Davos thing because you want to know what's going on, like, I don't know, that's just like something that's just, I don't know if it's messed up in my brain or whatnot. It's just something I can't help but do. So I just like to notice everything. Right. But then you got to get to that level of schizo-foo where you can look at something very dark, very sinister, not let it erode your soul, and move on with your life in the ways that you know you need to, and in ways that are congruent with your beliefs. Do you believe we should be living in an AI prison? I don't.
Yeah. No.
So I'm trying to resist anywhere I can, and if I do that, I will be okay with myself and with the outcome, because God's at the helm of all of this. You know, He's at the helm of it all. So if I do my part, and I give it up to God, and I try to help my fellow man, and shit don't work out, it's how it's meant to be. But
amen,
along the way, I made good choices. I don't hate myself for what I did. I forgive myself. I forgive those who did the thing too, who did the evil. You gotta forgive them too. They don't know what they're doing. They don't truly understand what they're doing. They don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing it. Right. They don't understand. They have no idea. They think it's for some greater good, or
they might know what the action is and the ramifications of it are in reality, but they don't understand what it is spiritually.
Yeah, like immortally, like in your dude. We're
soul.
Not just this thing here.
And that's why you can't get caught up in the rat race, because the rat race will have you at your fellow man. It'll have you against your fellow man. Where we should all be working together. We should all be loving one another. Nobody should be hating each other. We should just be operating at a level where we're maintaining ourselves and helping each other maintain each other. And, you know, live happy, free, prosperous, multiply. What else is there? Success?
Yeah, really.
Why? Why do you need success? To prove that you're better than somebody else? Fuck that.
Yeah, you need to look into that. Like, that is a mind disease. That is a mind and spirit disease.
Yeah. There's this idea that, like, if you're not always striving to be better, then you're less than. Why? Why can't we just do what we're meant to do here on the planet? Why do we have to be something so great?
Legacy.
Yeah.
Why do we need to be kings?
Yeah. Why can't we be servants of the Lord?
There's only one king.
Be a servant to God.
There's only one king.
All right. We're gonna pick back up World Economic Forum Part 3 probably sometime in the future. We're gonna put it off a little bit longer.
We didn't get into all the Davos stuff, but there's too much. And honestly, what I would really like for, if you're interested, if you didn't get enough of the evil fuckers' schemes. Go search it out.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they got it archived.
It's
you
interesting.
Can look into it. It is very interesting. And give it a watch. Give it a watch if you want. We are going to come back with more of what the first episode was.
Yeah, more like technical World
into,
Economic Forum, like
literature, the history,
associations that have come out of it.
Yep.
But,
make some more ties.
Yeah.
Make some more ties to what has happened in the past.
We're gonna go through the rest of that book.
All this.
I kind of want to just like speed through it, but we got to go through that book.
Yeah. But we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed our schizo rants.
Yeah, this did kind of turn into like a WEF rant cast.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's warranted.
Yeah,
it's warranted.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Very much love. Have a great time, night, day, whenever you're listening to this.
Whatever it is.
Fucking like, subscribe, follow, rate. Actually, I'm not gonna go all quick through it. I really want you to understand, people. We need you to share this show. We got to get out into the world. We need people to hear about us and to know us, and it's never going to happen if you guys don't share us around. So please, for us, fuck liking, fuck commenting. We're not working the algorithm. Share us, because we need the word out there.
We need the subs. We need
yeah.
people, the numbers.
Yeah, eventually, the algorithm will start pushing us.
At some point, unless we're just shadow banned by the overlords because it's way too awesome.
Yeah, we're just too good at it. Bringing the secrets to the light. Alright, guys. See ya.
Bye.